Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Video Game Choo Choo podcast. I'm your host, John. With me this week is a cavalcade of your favorite hosts with the most. We got Michael.
Hey, hello, hi. I'm a host. I have some of it.
Together we have the most.
Okay.
Scott's here.
I'm a couple things. I'm not the most. I actually, immediately thought you were going to say cavalcade before you said it, so that's how you know we're on a good wavelength tonight.
That's fucked up. We got Ryan.
Hey, I'm actually the host with the toast. I brought some nice, slightly toasted white bread for everybody to enjoy. No butter because we can't break the bank.
Yeah.
But I try to be generous when I can.
Yum, yum, yum.
What a coincidence. I have a tub of butter right here.
Oh, John, perfect.
Why do you have a tub of butter?
Well, I'm not going to say because now it's normal.
Excuse me?
What?
It's normal now that there's toast here.
No, if you walk into a room with a tub of butter, it's not normal.
Yeah, see, I brought toast because toast can be enjoyed sans butter.
Can it?
I don't remember. Well, yeah, it's not good, but it can be consumed. Butter, unless you're planning to butter me up with your sweet words of encouragement, then I don't think it's normal just to be carrying around a tub of butter. John, can I ask you what kind of butter it is?
The yellow kind.
Damn. That's the good stuff.
I didn't know there was another kind of butter.
Well, there's margarine, there's butter substitutes, I can't believe it's not butter.
Those aren't butters, though.
That's plenty, it's the same thing.
Yeah, don't you know, every St. Patrick's Day, all the cows produce, limited edition green butter?
Yeah, exactly.
And then around Christmas, it's, kind of Freddy Krueger, red and green stripes.
Everyone's favorite holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day and Christmas.
This butter bit fucking sucks.
It really does. I apologize.
This is the worst.
Yeah.
Why did you say butter? Why did you have a tub of butter, John?
I can't believe I said butter.
You just wanted to be a part of the toast party.
Yeah, kinda. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Folks, I'd like to start this podcast off by with a little bit of housekeeping news. I'd like to get it right up front because I'm very excited about it. Mm-hmm. We have relaunched our Discord channel. We had one a long time ago, but nobody was using it, and it was kind of garbage. So I decided, hey, I'm going to relaunch it. We're trying to get more in tune with the fans, talk to people more. Why not relaunch the Discord channel? And that's what I did. So thanks to Scott's friend Stu, who also helps program the site and everything, we have an easy to follow link to the Discord that isn't just a bunch of random numbers and all that. It's Scott, I think you know it off the top of your head. What is the URL?
It's thegamezone.zone.
That is a powerful URL.
It's very good.
For a powerful place. But it's also linked on the Twitter account, so you can just go on there. But yeah, it's thegamezone.zone to come join our Discord channel. There's some pretty friendly people on there already. We have channels that's for looking for group and all that. If you want to play a game or whatever, you can share your friend codes or your Steam username. We have a channel where you can talk about the podcast or the articles that we write. And of course we have voice chat that, we're going to pop in here and there, just to hang out with everybody. So if you want to play games with us or with anyone else who listens to the podcast or reads the site, feel free to sign up for the Discord channel. I promise we'll make sure that it doesn't get awful in there. If there's any, we have the rules plastered right up in the pinned section. Mm-hmm. So if anyone starts talking shit, I'm ready to kick some ass. But yeah, that's our announcement, I suppose, is that Discord channel. So yes, thank you everyone who's joined up already and made it fantastic so far. It's only been up for a couple of days, and I'm already really proud of it and proud of everyone being so cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a real cool space.
So, let's start talking about how things have been going lately then. Ryan, before we started recording, you briefly mentioned that you had some kind of story, and now I'm curious.
It's like, I don't know if it's good enough of a story to kind of put the spotlight on me here, but you know what they say, when the spotlight's on you, you gotta dance. So it's time to do a jig and tell you my shitty story from today. So basically, all that happened was, y'all talked about the Switch earlier today, right before we started recording. I was going to say earlier, I was sitting here in my room, and I heard quite the heinous cacophony emanating from our collective living space in this apartment. And I went out there to see that one of my roommates was sitting there on the PlayStation playing Overwatch, and my other roommate was sitting right next to him playing Shovel Knight on the Switch at the same time.
Nice.
In, like, the same room. And I, like, there's really no point to this story other than that it kind of still amazes me that that's, like, a thing. Like, I feel like we are truly in an era of video game decadence, if you will, where two men can sit side by side playing completely different games on totally different consoles. They're what's the word I'm looking for? They're discordant games making horrible musical harmony in my living room.
You could have done that with the Wii U.
Yeah. I mean, you can technically do that with, like, the 3DS or, like, a Vita or whatever else, but, you know, it's just not the same.
I mean,
It's just
the
like,
Wii U's not a handheld, though.
yeah, and also my roommate sold his Wii U to buy the Switch.
Sure,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah, the only game he ever played on there was Smash Bros, and since they may or may not be re-releasing that for the Switch, you know, he was just gonna get that on there.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of a story from my last few days, my last week. My last week's been pretty busy. You know, I graduate next month on the 19th, I believe, is the date. So pretty soon, just a few weeks from now. I am still terrified, as most graduates I feel are wont to be, or at least graduates with no clear vision of their immediate future post-graduation. What else has been going on in my life? John, I'm glad you mentioned the Discord, because when did we launch that? At the time of this recording, it was about, 4 days ago?
Just about.
Yeah, when this podcast comes out, it'll have been last Tuesday, I believe, or maybe a couple days before that. I had been spending, you know, I've been trying to spend a decent amount of time in our Discord, you know, get to know people, get to know the fans and all that. And it's really nice. I'm glad that we have this kind of growing community united through this second pass at our Discord channel. I don't want to, you know, pat ourselves on the back too much here, but I think this has gone much better than the original one did, which we had for like a week, and then it just kind of petered out almost immediately because no one really knew what to do with it. But I feel like this has kind of encouraged a bit more of a community to kind of fledge beneath our video game wings here, if you will. I know there are some people in the Discord that joined that didn't even know like what Chooch was, and I'm glad that, you know, we can kind of attract people who have this mutual enjoyment of games that, you know, stumble onto our content through that. But mostly it's just nice, like I said, to get to meet people and that sort of thing. So I guess that sort of transitions into the games I've been playing this last week, because I think that's really more what I have to talk about this week. I told Michael I went and got Thai food earlier this week, which was really nice. We went to this place near campus. I got this giant bowl of pad thai, which is like my weakness. If I ever won the lottery, I think I would rent out a dump truck and just fill it with pad thai and just kind of lay under it with a bib on and just listen to it like go beep, beep, beep as it like backs up and like just starts dumping pad thai into my gullet through like a funnel.
That's disgusting.
Like that's the dream. That's the dream. I live for a world where I can gorge myself on pad thai without the judgment of those like you, Michael. You know, if you don't support my pad thai lifestyle, then
no, it should
be
banned. It should be banned.
Should be banned. Wow. Yeah. All right, I see how this is. You can't tell me, Michael. You can't tell me there's not a food that you would do that for. Like, there has to be something that you love so much that you would be willing to have it funneled down your throat.
No.
For your own
That sounds
hedonism.
like the opposite. That sounds like the opposite of what I want to do with any food.
Oh, so you're one of those people who eats in portions. I see how this is.
Yes, I like to enjoy my food.
That's your problem right there. I'm just like, at the time of recording, it's April 27, 2017, and I am already getting ready to hibernate come November. So I really got to pack on those pad thai pounds with that pad thai protein. Anyway, I have been doing other things than apparently just swallowing pad thai like some sort of horrible culinary anaconda. I have been playing some games, so I'm assuming that y'all, or at least Michael, would like to change the subject to those, so I can go ahead and get into that if y'all would like.
Please do.
Sure. John, I'm glad you asked. I will definitely talk about those games. So, I have kind of 3 main games that I've been playing this week. I did do a little bit of Overwatch and a little bit of Persona 5, but I know I have pretty much said as much about those as I can say at this point. Persona 5 is still great, still a really good game. I'm not too much further in it. Overwatch, it's Overwatch. But I did start 3 completely new games this week, which is a shock from me. Yeah, exactly. I don't remember the last time I started 3 games in 1 week, but I guess I'll just kind of go down the line in chronological order, and we can suss it out that way. The first game is something I know I've kind of mentioned on this podcast before. I know I said I would probably wait a little longer to start it, but much like with my affection for pad thai, I gave into temptation and could not stop myself from starting Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, it is nice. I'm glad y'all think so. I haven't gotten super far in that game, but I've gotten far enough to, I think, have somewhat of an opinion on it. I am right after when the murder happens in the second chapter of that game. I think the chapter's called Sin and Coconuts and Sea and Punishment or something like that. Yeah, it's got a great title. That game is so far as good as I've been led to believe. It's hard to talk about it for me without spoiling it to some degree, so I don't want to speak on it too much. All I will say is that game will be the death of me, just thanks to how many questions it's raised without even addressing them so far. Like, a lot of the questions that game raises, at least so far, are sort of implicit in its status as being a sequel. Like, if you haven't played the first game for whatever reason, I don't think you'll have these questions. But there's stuff, and you just see it, and it happens, and you're like, wait, so is that, but it's not possible, or is it possible, or my god, what is happening in this video game? I wouldn't say I'm lost with that game, but I am adrift in the ocean, and Danganronpa 2 is about to push me under, and I'm just gonna let it happen. Like, I am so into it at this point. I don't think I'll have it finished by next week, because I am going to get pretty swamped with schoolwork in these next few days, weeks before my graduation, but suffice to say, I am sure that I will have a very strong opinion on that game by the time I reach its conclusion. I know someone in this, Scott, maybe it was you, it may have been John, it may have been Niall or Mike, I honestly have no idea. I was told this game is kind of, in a lot of ways, about subverting expectations.
Totally, yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a very apt way to put it. I don't know if y'all have any questions for me about what I think about stuff so far, but like I said, I don't want to spoil too much in the off case that someone out there hasn't played it, wants to play it, is getting it on PS4, whatever. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather just wait until you're done with it and then
Sure.
hear what you think at the end, because it's so good.
Yeah, Scott, Scott, I don't like that maniacal laughter. It makes me a little nervous.
I don't know. It's interesting to hear people's like experiences midway through a game. Like, it's cool knowing you're still enjoying it without maybe having some of the same experiences we've had. But
Yeah.
I was also kind of the same way because I dropped off because I was reading the LP on Something Awful a long time ago.
Sure.
And then I had
Yeah.
to take a long break until I could finally actually play the full game myself. So, like, I kind of know where you're at right now.
Yeah. I think much like with the first game, a lot of my opinions are going to be shaped by how it kind of barrels towards its conclusion, I suppose. Because, you know, that first game was very much an exercise in making you think you knew what something was and then kind of pulling the rug out from under you. And I have no doubt that this game is going to be the exact same way. And a lot of my passion for the first game, I would say, comes from that ability to kind of, for the game to subvert itself by the end. And so I think that once I finish 2, I will, like I said, have a much more cohesive and stronger opinion on it than I do at this point in time. So, you know, keep your ears open for that whenever that happens, probably in a couple weeks, probably not this next week, but maybe the week after that. So I can go ahead and move on from Danganronpa 2 and get into the kind of meat and potatoes of more of what I've been playing this week. So we talked about the Discord at length so far, and a lot of my gaming experience this week has been based on playing with the people in the Discord. So I'll go ahead and preface this conversation by leading into it very slowly. As some of you may remember, a while back, Overwatch had an event where if you played, I think it was 15 rounds of Heroes of the Storm with a friend on Battle.net, you would unlock this really cool Genji skin. And since I had nobody to play Heroes of the Storm with, I missed it that first time around, and I languished for months thinking that I had somehow missed my chance for the Oni Genji skin in Overwatch, but Blizzard came down from on high this last week and announced the what is it, Nexus 2.0 event? Is that what it's called?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, where you can unlock the Genji skin, but again, you have to play a certain number of rounds of Heroes of the Storm, which, if you don't know, is the Blizzard MOBA. So, you know, thankfully, there were people in the Discord who were also wanting to get that skin. John, I know you got involved with it, and I'm sure some people listening were in on it. So this last week, for the second time in my life, I voluntarily installed a MOBA on my computer, and not only did I do that, but I played it more than the bare minimum requirements to unlock the skin in Overwatch. So, you know, here's my Reddit AMA. I willingly played Heroes of the Storm for several hours this week. Ask me anything.
Did you like it?
Actually, I did. So, here's the thing about MOBAs. I think there's sort of a general consensus amongst games that they typically aren't very good. My first and only experience with a MOBA was I knew somebody in high school who started playing League when it first came out, like within like a couple months of it first coming out. And they tried to get me into that game, and I played it for about 2 months, I think. And for me, the problem at the time, aside from me thinking that League isn't a very good game, was that I had to play it on my shitty laptop, which couldn't run like anything. So suffice to say, playing a MOBA is not exactly the best idea on a laptop, since a lot of it requires you since a lot of it actually requires you to be able to move your mouse and click on things, and you don't get that kind of fluidity with just a laptop trackpad, which is, you know, obvious. So after 2 months of me trying to force myself to play League of Legends, I decided it sucked, or at least I sucked. I sucked at the game, and I didn't want to play it anymore. And after that, I sort of swore off MOBAs for what I had intended to be basically the rest of my life. But the thing about Heroes of the Storm, And, you can debate as to whether or not it's a good game back and forth all you want. My take on it is that I think it's better designed than what I remember League of Legends being like. I think it has more variety. I think the characters are more appealing, and I think the battlegrounds are more interesting. So you can go back and forth on what kind of seal of quality you would give that. But playing that game online, and here's the caveat, playing that game online with people or like making friends with is fun. Like, if I sat down and tried to play Heroes of the Storm by myself for like 3 hours, I think I would probably be miserable. I think I would hate it, and I don't think it would be a very good experience, which isn't surprising. But playing it with people from our Discord, with people I knew, with, like I said, people who I wanted to get to know, it was a pretty fun time, honestly. Like, I won't say I didn't enjoy it, because I definitely did enjoy it. And, there were people in there who were trying to get those Overwatch rewards. I was like, hey, if you need someone to be part of your team, hit me up, because I'd be willing to play it again. And I was. And for me personally, I enjoyed the experience. I want to say it's not a bad game, but I'm sure there are people who will disagree. Wikipedia section and reception has 9s out of 10s and shit like that, so take that how you will. But the point is that regardless of my experience with MOBAs, I think it was a pretty fun experience, and I'm not going to say I recommend it, just because there's so many caveats that come with those kinds of games. But if you are going to play it, make sure you play it with people because it's about a billion times more entertaining when you do that. I'm going to go back to it next week when they release the new Diva skin that you have to play that for. The week after that, where you get more rewards, and the week after that, when you get the free loot boxes for playing. So I am at least going to be playing Heroes of the Storm for about the next month or so, and knowing Blizzard and knowing how addictive they make their games, I am sure I'm probably going to keep playing it for a little bit longer after that, until I decide that I either love it or I decide to wean myself off of it. But at this time, I'm enjoying it. I won't say I love it. I won't recommend it without MOBA caveats, but like I said, I think as far as a MOBA goes, it's pretty well designed. So John, I know you played it a little bit, but you can wait to talk about it if you want. I do have one other game I'd like to mention.
I mean, I was just gonna agree with you a bunch on that, because I did play Heroes of the Storm a little bit back when it first came out, and
sure.
I thought it was good. They've improved it a bunch. I just really like that there's a bunch of mechanics in all the stages that aren't just the usual run up the lanes and attack the base. There's there's one that's based on, there's a map that's based on Hanamura from Overwatch, and instead of just running up the lanes, you actually move a payload, and then that payload fires on their base. And that's super cool. That's completely different from any other MOBA thing. But yeah, I would definitely if you are interested in MOBAs but haven't touched one yet, I think that is definitely one, especially because now they give you 20 free characters.
Yes.
That's temporary, isn't it? The 20 free characters?
No.
Okay.
Well, it may be temporary while they do this event.
Yeah.
For the next month or so get on it, I guess, if you want to play it. But John, to kind of hang off that, I think that makes that game, at least right now, very accessible to new players who, you said, want to dip into that kind of stuff.
They also do the League of Legends thing where they rotate in and out free characters. Here's the Storm is probably, if you've ever thought, I want to see what this MOBA thing is, and you did kind of what you did, Ryan, where you jumped into League or you jumped into Dota, especially alone or just with one other person, especially if they're very competitive, it can be it's very overwhelming. So Heroes of the Storm is a nice light take on it. It's designed in a way for people who are newer to MOBAs to acclimate to MOBAs better. But if you don't want to be competitive, if you just want to kind of have a little bit of fun, and you don't really, if you're not going to spend invest 100 hours into Heroes of the Storm, then it's perfect. But if you really want to buckle down and play a MOBA, but you don't know how, Hero of the Storm should be your jumping off into either League or Dota.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it. And I've played a ton of Dota, and I played a good chunk of League, and I think they're all three fine. Like they're all fine games.
Yes, Scott, I hear you huffing over
Oh
there.
no,
Do
that
you
was
have
an
something to say
accident. I'm
about
sorry.
the MOBAs?
No, that was an accident.
Okay.
I did play HOTS though. I played 2 matches, and it kind of speaks to that game that like I don't know anything about MOBAs. I played a game of League before, and then I won once. So, and that was the first game I ever played, so I stopped playing it ever again. But it says something to Heroes of the Storm that I literally went in with you guys, with some of the cool people from our Discord, and was like, all right, I don't know how to play this game. You guys need to teach me. And then they did, and it was like, it totally worked out fine. I played as Jaina and got some kills, and felt like I was being effective, which most games like that with such a high skill ceiling, like, I don't ever feel that it's never that easy to get into.
Absolutely.
To be fair to Dota and League, they have since added like a lot, like really good tutorials and training spaces where Heroes of the Storm launched with that stuff, I believe. So, like League and Dota realized what their problem was, like I'd say a year or two ago, and have slowly tried to fix it. Here's the Storm just has always been that way and has realized that from the start. Yeah,
and I wouldn't say it's like some of Blizzard's games where it really like revolutionizes the MOBA genre, because I don't think it does. I agree with what John said. I think it has a lot of interesting twists, especially on the battlegrounds, as to like, you know, the kind of MOBA formula and like what you expect from the gameplay, but I don't think it's something like Overwatch where it just like completely revolutionizes the team-based shooter for like a new generation. It's just like a fun game, and you know, sometimes that's all a game has to be, just entertaining. And you know, if no one else has anything else to say about Heroes of the Storm, then I can go ahead and move on to the third game I played this week.
Please.
Sure. All right. So I think this is an interesting conversation that we're having in regards to accessibility and, you know, skill ceilings, and feeling perhaps intimidated by getting into a game. Because after I played Heroes of the Storm, there were a lot of things I noticed that I liked about that game, especially in relation to other Blizzard properties, and so I downloaded, since they made it free, I downloaded the first StarCraft game, like the original, with StarCraft and the Brood War expansion, since those are completely free on Blizzard's site now. I'd always been wary about getting into that game because, you know, I know that it's like kind of an esports thing in certain places, and I just didn't know what to expect from it. But I sat down and started playing the original StarCraft earlier today, and I love it. Like, that game's great. I don't know if any of y'all have played it at all, but if you're
been
a fan,
a while.
Yeah.
The cool thing about StarCraft is that was kind of born out of Warcraft back when they did when it wasn't an MMO. And that was sort of like their way of like, we still want to make an RTS. So
yeah.
It's interesting that you came to it thinking it was an esport when well, like even StarCraft 2, like it has a pretty lengthy campaign to it that it like, like I was also grew up with a lot of RTSs in the 90s, so it was like it's just another one of those to me. So it's really weird that you kind of come at it like, oh, it's an esport thing. Like, wait, what? No, it's this dumb, it's this dumb thing you play for an hour at a time to complete a fucking level.
I wouldn't say I knew it as being an esport, but it sort of has that indelible connection at this point, where it's like, you know, you think of esports, you think of like South Korea, you think of StarCraft, like 8 p.m., like or AM. 8 p.m. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and I wouldn't say that's like intimidating, but there's always something about going into a game that has like that kind of history behind it, where I'm like, is this like an actual good game, or has this kind of community kind of formed around it just because of like the multiplayer? But I'm happy to report that I love the original StarCraft. I like strategy games a lot. I don't play them very often though. And that game, like, perfectly scratches my itch for, like, a weird science fiction, base-building, strategic action kind of game. So, you know, if you've never played StarCraft, you like strategy games, there's a reason that game's a classic, so maybe look into it, download it, check it out. It's free. Nothing to lose. And that's basically it for me this last week. So I'll toss it to John, so John can toss it to somebody else.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for telling us about all that. Scott, would you like to take your turn?
Hello, boys, lads. I beat.
Hello, Scott.
I think I beat like more than. I don't remember how many games I beat, but I beat 3 games since the last time I was here on this podcast. I beat.
All right, run through them.
Dark Souls 3, The Ringed City.
Hell yeah.
I beat Dark Eater Madir, the secret final boss of Dark Souls 3, The Ringed City, who's a big dragon, and he's very, very mean, and I don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you kick him in the shins?
No, I shot him with a whole bunch of magic, because that's what the good little boy Vapor's Right does.
Nice.
Yeah, a friend of mine kind of told me, hey, your build, basically, is kind of perfect for this boss, and it turns out they were wrong. But having like a little bit of a ranged character, be able to like get around this very big thing and create more safe spaces, which was really good. But it's the kind of boss that can really go in on you when you're least expecting it, which sucks. But
yeah,
but it was actually kind of really ridiculous to finally stick that up in him, like get that final nail in that coffin, because I kept optimizing my gear I had over and over again. I'm like, what fat can I cut out? What don't I need? What do I need? And then finally I realized, oh wait, I have this ring on that gives me a bunch of spell slots I don't need because I only use 2 spells. I got rid of that, put on a thing that gave me like more armor, and then I was able to go in. I finally got him down to like under halfway, and then I learned he had a second form.
Damn.
Where he shoots out these large men at you. But I still kept going. I got him down to 75%. He has a ton of health. Just a ton of health. I get him down to 75%, and then something amazing happens. He staggers, and he falls on the ground. So I pull out my little rapier, I run up, I stab him in the eye, and then he's down to like the smallest sliver of health. And then I'm just like I'm rushing, and I shoot a couple soul spears at him, and then he does his attack where he's like literally coming right into my face right when I'm casting something. So there's this split second moment of, oh shit, I think I fucked up. And then my spell hits him right before he hits me. And I did it.
Oh my god.
And then I
Fuck yeah.
I got a brand new spell, which is just I summon the Moonlight Greatsword. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
It was a wild time. I did it. I beat the boy.
Nice.
Yeah. That took a long time. I was up in a cabin in Virginia while I did that, so I really didn't have any internet to like summon anyone to help me. But yeah, I did a bunch of things aside from just beating that cool big boss. I beat another game, which was also a bit of a challenge. I beat Breath of the Wild.
Nice.
I did it with only 2 of the dungeons down. Which, like, most people beat all 4 dungeons and then go in and, like, fight Ganon. And I heard from a lot of people that if you do that, Ganon kind of becomes a real big baby. So I was like, I want a little bit more challenge. So I did 2 dungeons. I got the Master Sword, and I was like, let's do it. Let's go for it. So I got to hang out around Hyrule Castle for a while. And one thing they don't, the boss fight itself was still challenging, but probably the thing that really held me back the most, the thing that like let me know I was a little underpowered, was there's a couple sub-bosses leading up to it, which are just some Lynels, and the second Lynel kept killing me in one hit. And that was terrible. But I managed to make it past that guy. And one thing they don't tell you about the actual final boss area is if you didn't beat the other bosses in the dungeons, you have to fight those right at the end.
Oh my god.
So I had like 2 small boss battles in the same room leading up to the boss. So it was kind of like one really long multi-stage boss battle, which was actually really cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty sick.
And I didn't die once during the whole thing, but I did wind up using like all my weapons and like all my healing items, so it felt like a huge accomplishment to finally get that one down.
Yeah.
That was a really good time, and I feel like that might actually be the best way you can play the game, in my opinion. Just like go in a little handicapped, because it feels so much more rewarding when you can actually get in there and beat that boss. It's really cool.
Cool.
It's also interesting that like they explored the idea of a sliding scale of difficulty in Breath of the Wild. You'd think like, hey, the more experience, the better stuff you get, the difficulty would kind of raise to that. But instead, it's like, we want to make sure people who are probably a little less experienced with games can finish this game. So here's your path to doing it, and then you can just go do it. And that's interesting. It's like grinding, but without the actual element of grinding.
Sure.
It's neat. That is a cool game. I'm still picking it up every now and then. I went and I beat the Rito dungeon, which was one of the ones I haven't done yet, and I'm like slowly getting my way at the Gerudo one now. I'm at the stealth section that's very infamous, and boy, do I not like that. Yeah.
What's kind of the flaw with that?
There are these very large people you have to avoid, and if you get caught, you can like fight your way through that encounter. You fight like all the people that are like patrolling around, and they summon some extra dudes. But if they hit you once, it just kills me. Like, I just get killed in one hit. I don't know if there's a way to survive that or not, but like,
I think it's just a one-hit kill.
Is it? Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, like the first time I got caught, I did actually like manage to kill everyone in that room, and then I got caught in the next room. And then I got killed there, so it's like, I don't know. That feels like a chore, and I just don't want to do it.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I beat those two games. I beat another game.
Oh. 3 for 3.
Mr. Shifty. I'm not going to talk that much about it because I have the review up on the site. You can go read exactly what I think about that game. But that is a game with like some of the best, funniest moments I've had playing a game, and also like the dreadful worst. Yeah. I outlined a whole bunch of flaws that game has, like weird combat encounters where they just force you into it, or like puzzle rooms that just aren't fun to repeat, and it's like it was a little bit of a chore to play. And there was actually one encounter that while I was doing it, I said out loud without even thinking about it, "This is the worst moment in gaming history." And I think I truly feel that way.
Sure.
It's fucked up.
I'm sorry it's so uneven. It seemed kind of like a cool game.
It's good, and also it's bad, which is why I gave it a 3, because I feel like the positives like kind of counterbalance the negatives in a way. It's not like an average game. It's not like a middle of the road game. It's like two extremes, and I don't really know any other way to like properly express that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a game, all right. If you're in a Hotline Miami, you should at least give that a shot, in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I may end up checking it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I played a couple of things. I've been playing most recently, John.
Yes.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yeah, I was gonna go more in depth on that, but I guess we could talk about that now. Puyo Puyo Tetris came out.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about it a little more. Yeah, it came out finally here in the US, and like, I'm really enjoying it, man. I'm really like, every time I gotta play Tetris, I'm on the ball. I'm just like smacking those bad blocks into holes. And then every time I have to play Puyo Puyo, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'm the opposite. I'm better at Puyo Puyo.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I'm learning Tetris though. This game is teaching me Tetris.
Really? You don't know how to play Tetris?
I mean, I know how to play Tetris. I was just...
Oh, you're learning how to play Tetris.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay,
yes.
I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, every time I like have to do a Puyo section in the game is like I'm playing the adventure mode, and I'm like, it's doing a really good job of tutorializing those things. Except sometimes it goes into a brand new concept or a new game mode it hasn't quite fleshed out yet, and it just throws you right into it, and it's like, all right, you better win. Wait, what? It's cool. Yeah, that's the gist of what I've been playing. There are a couple other little things, but okay, those are the big things.
All right, thank you. Michael.
Hi.
What are you up to lately?
Oh, hanging out, watching bathrooms leak, things like that.
Jeez.
Oh, we had similar experiences, it sounds like.
Yeah. Last week when I came back from Star Wars Celebration, I came back with my girlfriend, and we came into a house that had no air conditioning, which is fun, in Florida.
Oh boy.
Yeah, thankfully she has a 2-story, I don't know, townhouse. I don't know the official term for it, but so we could stay downstairs quite a bit and just let all the heat accumulate upstairs where, we sleep. So this week we came back, we grabbed dinner and stuff, and we walked in, and I heard something. And, houses make noises, and sometimes it's TVs, and she has cats, and it's like, no, this is not a cat making a noise. This isn't like the refrigerator running. This isn't like a washing machine. This is like water. And I walk into the kitchen, there's just water dripping down from out of the ceiling. I guess her toilet just decided that despite flushing and working properly, would just overflow. And we must have caught it just in that in-between point of, like, oh, this has made a damn mess, to like, oh, this is a real severe problem. Because her bathroom was fine. Like, her bathroom, it was just in her bathroom. Like, it didn't seep out into furniture or anything, or like anything else. It was just her bathroom floor, and that's what bathrooms are designed for. And like, you could throw towels on it, it was fine. It was the kitchen where it was like dripping onto the refrigerator and onto the floor, and like, because that was the ground, it had nowhere else to go, so it was like leading out to the garage. And oh, that would have been real bad because the water heater was right there. There was like a series of dominoes of things that thing could have really, really, really hurt. And thankfully, all those dominoes are still stacked up.
Yeah. When I still lived in suburbia, we had our water heaters in the attic for some reason. And right before we moved out, the pans overfilled, and so we had water coming out of the light fixtures in the ceiling on the second floor, down onto the balcony next to the stairs, off the balcony and onto the floor on the first floor. And it ruined so much of the hardwood flooring that we had to get completely new hardwood flooring in the entire house because they didn't make that kind of hardwood floor that we had anymore. So,
great.
Yeah. Never get a house or an apartment or whatever with hot water heaters in the attic, because someday it will come back to bite you.
So her air conditioner on the second, I think it might be for the whole townhouse, is on the second floor, and part of it, I guess, the water pan for that overhangs above the door, which is like, once you come in the front door, if you look up, it's both stories, like it's just a big, tall ceiling entrance. Same thing happened to her. The pan overfilled, and that light doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
There's a big water stain up there. So, owning things. It's great. But other than that, I haven't really been doing much. I'm still reading through the Star Wars books I got at Celebration. I'm on to the second one, which is, I guess, a trilogy. So I guess I need to go buy the other two at some point.
Sure.
That's really been about it. I don't think there's been crazy amount else that isn't video game related that I've been doing.
All right, then what games have you been playing?
More of that Star Wars Heroes mobile game. It's just it's an easy game to just sit down and it pauses if my phone like shuts its screen off automatically. If I need to go do something else in an app, it pauses. It's just kind of something I can do lackadaisically and not have to worry about anything. And has so many different currencies that when like one or two of them run out, there's like 6 others that I have too many of. So it's like, I don't care. I'll go buy something in somewhere else and slowly unlock this character. I started playing Cosmo Tier because of my. I think all of these kind of have. Well, at least these first 2 have Star Wars connections. I looked up. I think I blindly Googled games to build spaceships. Because I wanted to see. I like open-ended like crafting games, but I'm clearly on some sort of sci-fi kick. So I just Googled that randomly, and I think Cosmo Tier is a dead game. I don't think it's still being worked on. But if you Google it, it's how it's pronounced, Cosmo and then TER. If you Google it, you can just download it for free. It is a shipbuilding game and like a bounty hunting game. So you can freeform build your ships in like a sandbox mode, and you just build your ship. The more you add on to it, the more it costs. And then there's the bounty hunting single player mode, where you start out and you can buy one of these ships. The one I built was way too expensive. You pay for this ship, and you right click, and your ship slowly moves around. You go find the little blips on your map, and you can start attacking them. You can pause the game at any time with spacebar, and then you can look at the enemy ship and then target specific pieces. So you can say, okay, well, so what I would do is I would target their weapons, so they can't shoot me. So they can run around all they want, but they can't do any damage to me. Okay, once their weapons are gone, I try to take out their maneuver. Like, you can put engines and make them face sideways, and you can turn quicker. So I'd get rid of those, so all they could do is kind of like list lazily around in one direction, and then I would get rid of their engines, and then the rest was mine. You earn money from killing enemy ships. You use that money to repair your ship, and I thought you would use that money to just buy a new ship, and I should have done that, because like by the 3rd level, I got just wrecked. And I think when you buy a second ship, it doesn't replace your first ship. You roll with like a group of ships. You party up ships. So if you wanted to, you could just design your own little bounty hunter ships and just go play through that game. I have no clue if it's procedurally generated. I've only played it really once or twice, but it's really neat, and it's really kind of, the art style is really I don't want to say like lo-fi, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Prison Architect, because you put like little bunker or barracks in there, and you see the little guys run around to their stations, so it's kind of FTL-y, but you don't directly control where they sit. That game is really neat. If it is truly dead, that's sad, because it had some neat ideas in it, and I love building spaceships. So, and the final game, speaking of Prison Architect, I segued myself on accident.
Nice.
From Prison
You're a professional. You did that on purpose. An
accidental professional. That's what my business cards say. From the developer, Prison Architect, is Scanner Sombre? Sombra? Sombre? I've only played 20 minutes of it. It felt like I played an hour of it. I don't know if that means it's good or bad.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It felt like I was in there for a while. It is so far an exploration game. It's you start out and all you see is this thing in front of you, and you walk up to it. It's pitch black. You hear stuff. You hear the music. You hear your footsteps. You pick up these goggles and you put them on. They look like VR goggles, and then you have a scanner in your hand. And when you left click, the scanner shoots out like little laser dots in an array. And every dot that hits like a wall or the floor or the ceiling leaves a colored dot. And the colors are depending on how far away you are. So the closer you are, they're red, orange, yellow, all the way out to blue, the farther away something is. So these dots, this dot matrix, like a old dot matrix printer, like forms the environment around you. So you use it and you see you're in a cave, and then you go towards the blue area because it's farther away. And it's how you tell what's around you. And you go around and you pick up more of these scanners, and they do different things. One of them I picked up, allowed me to use Q and E to open and close essentially the aperture of the scanner. So I can close the array and make it much more concentrated, so it just shoots a little beam out in front of me and colors whatever that is. Or I can open it up and just make it spray randomly in a 180 degree arc and very slowly fill out the room I'm in. And then the other one I got was Burst, where you just aim it and you hit B and it just like scan like a whole like line of lasers just scans the entire room you're facing in. It's interesting because it kind of plays with perspective a little, like not being able to see something. When you use that Burst one especially, you very much realize like, oh, I can only see this side of things. So if there's a tree or a stalagmite or stalactite in front of you, anything that was behind it didn't get scanned. So if that's like the exit, you can't see that. So it's a lot of exploration. It's a lot of just like meandering and wandering. A lot of the puzzles are more platformy. The last thing I did was I discovered a temple full of cultists.
It's my house, actually.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was very big. It had a lot of stairs. It was very. It seemed like it was made out of stone. You should get some rugs and maybe some carpeting.
Yeah, really gonna tie the space together.
Yeah, it did seem like there was a leak in the top from the water heater, so you should get that checked.
It's gonna dig into me. Where it hurts.
I haven't found any enemies. I did find a character model doing the T-pose, like arms out. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was like a scarecrow or what that was. There is some story. There's text that appears on the side of the screen. I feel like it pops up and disappears too quickly. I don't notice it because I'm so focused on something. I don't see it. Which I guess is a testament to how like the look of that game. If you just Google it, just Google Scanner Sombri. It's hummus apparently. It's Sombra. Yeah, it's hummus. Or no, that's not hummus. That's the lady from Overwatch. Isn't that a hummus brand?
What?
Isn't there a hummus brand called Sombra?
That's the hacker from Overwatch, but there may be a hummus brand.
I feel like that's a hummus brand as well. Anyways, sure. If you Google it, you can see it has a striking look to it. But I'm afraid it will just fizzle out. But I'll keep playing it. I'll try and review it. I've got like a lot of other things happening, but I'll try and review it. But that's been about it. I played Heroes of the Storm. I'm gonna play some more. I played some more Battlefront because I shoot stormtroopers in that game. That's all right.
Yeah.
And then that's been about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Michael. So, real quick, I'll just talk a little bit more about Puyo Puyo Tetris because I love that game. That's pretty much the only new game that I played. I got it for the Switch, and it is just a perfect Switch game. It's if you are, I mean, obviously, pretty much everyone in the world is familiar with Tetris, at least a little bit. The other side, I was surprised that not that many people knew Puyo Puyo. If you have played or are aware of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, it's that. It's a puzzle game where you match these, like, they're like little orb creatures called Puyos. You have to get them in groups of 4. You can connect them in any way other than diagonally. And you just clear them out in chains to fill up your opponent's screen with garbage Puyos. So you can play either of those types in Puyo Puyo Tetris. You can play Tetris, you can play Puyo. You can play a combination of the two, which is fucking crazy. Like, you can have Tetris blocks and Puyos drop at the same time. You can have it switch between the two randomly. You can play matches where it sets up a Tetris screen and you have to clear it out. There's the same thing with Puyos. There's all kinds of challenges. If you want any kind of puzzle activity that has to do with Puyo Puyos or Tetris, you can have that in this game, and you can play it with friends. It is just a fantastic package if you enjoy puzzle games, if you want to play puzzle games with friends. I highly recommend it. It's $30 on It's $30 on Switch Digital. It's really weird because I think it's only available in the US digitally on the Switch. On PS4, it's available, but I think it's only retail?
It's only physical, but it's also $30.
Yeah, and then the Switch version for retail is $40.
Weird.
But it comes with, like, keychains, so, I mean, it's not really worth the $10, but I don't know. I just bought it with some leftover GameStop money, so it wasn't really $40 for me, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game. I highly recommend it to anyone who gives... I don't care that much for Puyo Puyo Tetris, but still, just the way that game is set up and how many different ways you can play that game, it's so much fun. I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
sure.
I can still beat you, so that's all that matters.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. So I'm gonna say let's move on to news, but real quick, some breaking news.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy. There is a new version of the 2DS that just got announced.
And also 3DS.
No, this is the 2DS.
Okay.
It is called the new 2DS XL. So it's a 2DS, you know, like the 3DS model that has no 3D. But it has the clamshell, like, design, like pretty much every other 3DS design has.
Okay. That's what threw me off, because I saw the clamshell and I thought it was a new 3DS. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it is a 2DS. And then it also has, like, the nub that the 3DS XL has, like the control stick. And it also has the built-in amiibo support, and it has the faster processor. So it's a 2DS with all of the 3DS XL's upgrades, or the new 3DS's upgrades, but without the 3D. It's going to be coming out. Let me
July 28th.
Yes, thank you.
July 28th for yeah. Go ahead.
$150.
Yep. That's good.
And 2 colors, and both colors look awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want one, honestly.
I mean, honestly, you could probably get a new 3DS XL for cheaper than that by now, or something like that.
Except that they've been weirdly hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of places have been dropping, like, inventory altogether and just don't have it. And so I've noticed in, like, Targets and in Best Buys, you'll often just see 1 or 2. And then I imagine once that allotment's gone, they have to wait for the new ones to come. So maybe this is, like, the next big surge for the 3D/2DS before they just shrug their shoulders and see what the Switch can do. Because the Switch is selling enough that if it continues, this could be the last big 3DS/2DS handheld thing for them for a while.
Yeah. I'll never use the 3D on my 3DS anyway, so...
Yeah, it's a pretty okay design. Like, I mean, if I didn't have a 3DS already, I might consider it. Because, I mean, the library of the 3DS is so fantastic, and it's all, like, laid out bare now, so, like, you can get all of that for a pretty good price these days.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's kind of weird, but at the same time, you know, Nintendo can sell those things all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
It makes sense because, like, they're still coming out with 3DS games. They announced a whole bunch at that Nintendo Direct pretty recently, and they, you know, probably have a big backlog of stuff they want to clear out. So, hey, here's a much more affordable, like, entry-level, like, handheld you can purchase for this stuff. Just make it easy for everyone. It's a smart call.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright, so let's get on to our other news stories that we were going to do before this broke. Would you like to go ahead and do yours, Ryan?
Yeah, I can knock this out pretty quick.
Sure.
So, y'all all know Persona 5 came out, we've all been talking about it, but what you may or may not be familiar with is the controversy over Atlus's sharing policy on the game. When Persona 5 was released earlier this month, they basically said, don't stream this game. If you do stream this game, you can only stream up to a certain point, like about a third of the way through the game, and we only want you to stream like for 90 minutes at a time. And also, the PS4 share button isn't going to work at all during the game. And understandably, a lot of people were upset about that, especially considering, streams like the Giant Bomb Endurance Run of Persona 4 really helped with the popularity of that game and that franchise as a whole. But nonetheless, Atlus seemed like they were not going to budge on this until they did budge. And it wasn't a, complete overhaul, but they definitely loosened up a lot of the restrictions they had laid out for this game. Instead of July 7th on the game's calendar, people can now stream up until November 19th, which is, quote, when the main story gears up for the final act. Their whole thing is that they say that this is to avoid spoilers, so it makes sense that they don't want anybody spoiling, the final act of the game. Whether or not it's really to avoid spoilers, say what you will. That should be about 8/9 of the game, so really a significant portion of it. Secondly, they also lifted the 90-minute cap on the streams, so you can now basically go to your heart's content. They also apologized for the tone of their original announcement. They were kind of like, we just did this to avoid spoilers. We weren't going to sue anyone for copyright violation, which, is fair. They said that their tone of the original announcement was, quote, threatening. So I don't think that's the vibe they want people getting from them, especially with all the backlash that came from these streaming restrictions. So even though they have kind of dialed this back, rolled it on up, taken some of the chains off, they still are not allowing anybody to use the PS4 share button to take screenshots or stream the game, which is kind of messed up for a few reasons, in my opinion. First of all, people are already on Twitter and on Tumblr and wherever taking pictures of the game with their cell phones. And second of all, this still means that only people with kind of third-party hardware will be able to stream the game, because if you can't use the PS4's native stuff to do that, then I guess you have to get a capture card or whatever to get that done. So it's still not totally accessible, and the whole thing still isn't completely open, which I think it should be. I don't think they're doing anything to prevent the problem of people just taking pictures with their phones. I think if they really wanted to avoid spoilers, they could allow the share button to happen in certain places and just turn it off in particular moments, like every other game ever made does on the PS4. But, I'm not Atlus, and I wasn't planning on streaming this game, but, good news for people who want to go through this game, or at least most of this game, and I'm glad Atlus is not taking legal action against anybody for this, because that would be kind of crazy. So
I don't think they were ever threatening to sue anyone. I think they were threatening that if you posted or streamed stuff after that certain point, they would lay copyright claims or strikes against your channel or whatever.
Down.
Yeah, and had the video taken down. So that's not necessarily legal action.
Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes I just say things, legal action, copyright, sue, buy high, sell low, whatever.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm glad they're easing back on it a little bit to kind of sum things up. So that's the Persona 5 news. Don't have much else to say about it, so I'll throw it back to you, John.
All right, thank you very much. Scott, would you like to tackle your story now, please?
How would you like to face Masamune Date?
Could take it or leave it.
Cut you a ruler. Masamune Date, you don't want to?
Is he is he really good at guitar or something?
Oh, that would be good also. No, this is...
You could go over to the bar and just hang out and watch him live, rip, and just fucking hang out, yeah.
No, this is, no, it's not hanging out at the bar with Masamune playing guitar. It is Neo's new DLC, Dragon of the North. and I'm personally pretty excited about this. I very much enjoyed Neo, and I think I bought the season pass already. I don't remember. But yeah, it's a brand new chapter to Neo. It's actually taking place after the story, which is neat. Like, it's not some weird offshoot thing. It's a continuation of the same thing. It goes to a brand new region, the Oshu. It goes to a brand new region in Japan, and where you're going to face off with the Kaiju era ruler, Masamune Date, which I definitely butchered, also known as the One-Eyed Dragon, which is probably also why it's called Dragon of the North. This is something I really like about Neo. They just kind of take all these big historical figures and just recontextualize them into strange, awesome, amazing samurai fighter people. Like, they turned Edward Kelly into an alchemist who is trying to bring forth the end of the world through dark occult magic, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of awesome.
It's really great. The way this game does that stuff is so good. But yeah, there's going to be new stuff, new enemies, which I'm very excited for, because one of my biggest complaints with Neo was the enemy variety leaves a little to be desired. So that's, hopefully there's a good variety of new enemies, new skills, armor, magic, new weapons, and they're also adding a new weapon class called the Odachi, which is a very, very large katana, so you can finally do your Sephiroth cosplay.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. And there's one more pretty important feature. I mentioned before that Neo feels like a multiplayer game that didn't quite have the multiplayer component in yet. You had co-op, but you never had PvP. Guess what, buddy? PvP finally being added into the DLC. I don't think it's added in the DLC. I think it's added with, like, everyone can access it even if you don't have it. But finally you can do the thing the game feels like it's built for. So, yeah, I'm personally very excited for that. Dragon of the North, Tuesday, May 2nd. That's probably tomorrow, 2 days from now, from when this podcast comes out. Get it.
Wonderful. Michael, would you like to speak on your article?
I can.
Please, if you would.
Sure. Everyone remembers the good old company of Vivendi, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Vivendi's been slowly but surely taking over pretty much everything that the Guillemot family has ever put together. They took over Gameloft last year, hostilely, and they've been eyeing Ubisoft and currently sit at about 25% of Ubisoft's overall stock. According to Reuters, two different sources. I can speak well.
Two different sauces.
Yep, two different sauces. One is a tangy barbecue, and the other one is a buffalo and spicy.
Delicious.
It is. Mix them together. The fuck are we doing? Two different sources have told Reuters that Vivendi will soon begin accelerating their plans to take over Ubisoft. This is not a big surprise, but outwardly Vivendi has continually said that they don't want to take over Ubisoft. 25% is what they set out right now. 30 is the sort of magic number within French law, because at 30, and this is actually how they took over Gameloft, at 30 it triggers an automatic takeover bid, and Vivendi would be allowed to then essentially tell all the current Ubisoft stockholders, we will offer you this amount of money for your stock. So if Ubisoft stock is $10, which it is not, it is much higher than that and has been going up thanks to their takeover, obvious plans to take over. If it's $10, they can say, hey, we'll give you 12. Usually when this happens, the stock will then go up to about 12 because that company is evaluating Ubisoft stock at that price. So it is sort of a weird position. They could, at 30%, potentially get over 50% and have full control, or all of the stock owners could say, hell no, the stock's going to go up. I'm going to keep it. But Reuters is saying that that's going to happen soon, that thanks to some deflating stock numbers on Vivendi's side, some investor worry that Vivendi is going to just accelerate their plans and start trying to get to that magic 30% so that they can eventually have full control of Ubisoft by the end of the year. I don't know. It seems feasible. 5% is not a lot. They've very quickly accumulated 25. Once they got to about just shy of 20, it's been happening in like 1 or 2% at the most. So clearly the stock well has dried up quite a bit. But if you remember, Ubisoft kind of went into damage control last year at E3 and throughout the year. They've been courting people to buy up stock who are loyal to the Guillemot family and loyal to Ubisoft. So maybe they can prevent this. Maybe at 30%, whatever Vivendi offers isn't enough. They don't get the magic 50. I don't know. So we do have a question that relates to this, so I'm just going to ask that now, just so...
Okay.
Since we're talking about it. It comes from Anonymous. Anonymous just asks, what do you predict for the future of Ubisoft if this Vivendi takeover goes through? Anybody got any thoughts? Some opinions?
I do not.
Okay. John or Scott?
For me, I see this being extremely messy. The current owners of Ubisoft, pretty much everyone at Ubisoft that I could tell seems to be pretty against this happening. I mean, it's taking away some of their like assets and a large amount of their money flow, so I can understand that. But Ubisoft is kind of like a family-run business for a while, and now that's getting kind of, thrown out from under them, especially after Vivendi had such a rocky track record with video games earlier with like their stuff with Activision and all that. So this whole thing is probably going to throw a huge wrench into Ubisoft's plans, and that's especially disheartening considering that like Ubisoft, I mean, I don't think they're like necessarily in like troubled water right now, but they are super awkward in their releases recently. Like a lot of the games are just straight up bad, or they are just not really being they're big AAA games, they're selling well, but at the same time, like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is going to drop off, isn't it? Like, we're going to see some decline in a lot of these games in the next few years.
There's a lot of things. Their recent releases have been doing incredible.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon is, I think, the best-selling Clancy game they've ever had. What was it? The one where you, like, run into houses and blow up walls. What was that one?
Oh, God.
Rainbow Six?
Oh, yeah.
Is that Rainbow Six?
Siege.
So that one had a rocky start, but they have continued to support it quite a bit. And same with, I don't know how For Honor's doing since, but it had a pretty good launch.
As far as I understand, it's been like probably not as well as it could have been, but that's still an experience. That's a big risk they took with that, honestly.
Sure, and I know the PC crowd dropped off that pretty hard, but they do that with every game they adopt. They drop off of eventually. So, like, their recent releases have been strange for sure, but for the most part, they've done pretty well with them, except for maybe Watch Dogs 2. That's probably, like, the biggest quote-unquote failure, even though that sold really well. I don't know what will happen. Vivendi did okay with once they took in Activision. They like, under Vivendi's umbrella at the time, they reinvented Call of Duty. They didn't leave Activision / Blizzard until 2013, so that's when Call of Duty came out. Blizzard is its own thing. Blizzard, I don't think, has ever acted... I don't think Blizzard takes orders from anyone. I don't think Bobby Kotick walks into Blizzard and says, "Oh, make a card game." I don't think he does that. I think Blizzard just says, "We're going to make a card game and we're going to do it well." So, the Activision's kind of dominance just got better under Vivendi. I don't know if this would be good. Vivendi, who acquired Activision and way long time ago acquired Universal and Blizzard is not the same Vivendi today. They are much bigger. They are in a lot of weird legal trouble and court battles in different, has nothing to do with video games, like eras, like Italian courts for TV, stuff where I just shrug it and skip over it in the Reuters article. If they take over Ubisoft, I think the Ubisoft you see is the reason they want to get into video games. It is striking the current model, like less DLC, more consistent updates. When the DLC launches, it's big changing shifts in the game, a la like Destiny. And I think Ubisoft, just like Gameloft was the forefront of good video game models, like in terms of making money. I also imagined that Assassin's Creed would go back to a yearly franchise, or alternates with Watch Dogs and maybe a Tom Clancy game like Ghost Recon 2. Like, I could see them leaning into the old Activision cycle.
Sure.
And if they don't get Ubisoft, they're going to go to China, because that's where all the money is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I bet if they get Ubisoft, they're going to go to China, because that's where all the money is. So
yeah.
So thanks for the question, whoever Anonymous was. And yeah, Ubisoft may be Vivendi owned by the end of the year.
Wild.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so I'm sure you all remembered when they announced Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That was like 5 months ago. That was a long time, and we didn't hear anything about it since then, until just a few days ago, when a bunch of new characters and a bunch more information was revealed. Pretty much all at once. So, first off, there are 8 more characters that have been confirmed for the game. Thor, Hulk, Hawkeye, Rocket Raccoon, Chun-Li, Strider, Chris Redfield, and the first new character, Ultron. Or the first new character... Or no, that's actually not the first new one. Mega Man X was. And Captain Marvel, I think. Yeah, Captain Marvel too. But Ultron's the only new character in that little section. So they showed a story trailer that you can watch on the site on Chooch, or you can, look it up on YouTube or whatever you want to do. That reveals basically the plot of the game is Ultron and Sigma from Mega Man X meet up in like the cyberspace and decide to forcefully meld the Marvel and Capcom universes to try to take them both over at the same time. And so they fuse together too and become Ultron Sigma. And so in the trailer, it just kind of shows like everyone trying to fight Ultron Sigma and getting their asses whooped. So that's fun. So after that, they in a blog post, Combo Fiend talked about a couple of little bullet points, such as that story mode, training mode, arcade mode, and missions are all in the game. So it's going to be more feature complete than Street Fighter V is now, I think. They also announced a couple of special editions of the game. So the standard edition is going to be $60, but if you pre-order it, you get an Evil Ryu and a Warrior Thor costume. There's a $90 deluxe edition that comes in a steelbook, and you also get 2 more costumes, which are Gladiator Hulk and Command Mission X.
Who the hell is Command Mission X?
There was an RPG starring Mega Man X called Command Mission, and he was in an outfit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad you wore clothes in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't really wear clothes normally. He's a fucking robot.
You know what I mean.
I know. But yeah, so that deluxe edition comes with a season pass, and they have confirmed that there will be 6 characters in that pass. It says the 2017 pass, so maybe there will be more after that. They only confirmed the first character, and that is Sigma. And then they said that there will be a $200 collector's edition that comes with the deluxe edition, as well as replicas of the Infinity Stones and little dioramas of Chun-Li, X, Iron Man, and Captain Marvel. So you get all that for $200. That's, I mean, they're like high quality like Infinity Stones, so that's kind of cool. But that's $200.
Yeah.
So, they also announced some other things more recently. They talked about like some websites got some hands-on time. So yeah, there were like some people were just talking about some, like little things here. Like you get some extra bonus stuff by playing through the game, through the story and arcade modes, and you can see that in the collection area. There's a little collection area. The story mode is about 2 hours long, according to Game Informer. So that's not that long, but that's about what you would expect from a fighting game story mode. If you played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you will remember that it was 3 buttons, a light, medium, and heavy, and then a launcher button that just knocked your opponent up in the air. In this game, it is a 6-button game where there is light and heavy punches, light and heavy kicks. There is a swap button. There is just a button that you press to swap to your other character, and then a button that activates your Infinity Stone. So the big change in this game is that every time there are 2 characters instead of 3, which harkens back to the original Marvel vs. Capcom games, because it only became 3 in MVC 2. So in the original MVC, you only had 2 characters, and then there were also like Infinity Stones that you could use that power up your attacks or do special abilities and all that. In this game, you press that button, and you'll activate little effects. Like, for example, the Time Stone lets you like do like a special like dash attack that lets you just like run through projectiles. But then also every time that you use your ability, or as you get hit, a little meter fills up separate from your super meter, but another meter fills up that lets you use a super, like an Infinity Stone super. Mm-hmm. So, for example, there's one that's like, if you use the Space Stone, the super for that just traps your opponent in a cube, and then you could just run up and just smack them around inside of the cube, and you can just keep your combo going. The other really crazy thing is that switching characters is something that you can do, like, constantly. According to some people that have played this, you can switch characters in the middle of a super. Huh. So you could just start attacking with a super and then just swap them out, like, pretty much immediately.
It's pretty wild.
There are auto combos, just like in, what else had auto combos? Like Persona 4 Arena, where you just hit the light punch button and it does like a standard combo. There is a universal launcher. Instead of it being a specific button, you just do crouching heavy punch, and that'll automatically knock your opponent up in the air. Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty different. Another pretty interesting thing is that they're getting rid of like, or at least in this game, they don't have like really advanced inputs. They said that the most difficult thing that you would have to do is a quarter circle. They said pretty much everything else is just a double tap downwards. They said that they're still considering some of the more classic inputs, like for Ryu, they're saying like, oh, the Shoryuken is so
sure,
like, everyone knows the Shoryuken, it's like that Z move, but they're thinking, we might actually change it to the double tap, because a lot of other characters that do things similar to Ryu are getting changed to the double tap. So there's no like half circles, no charge motions, none of that. It's all quarter circles and double tap down. And let me just, I'm kind of just like glancing through this. Yeah, I mean, there's like other like little things that the characters each have, but I won't go too far into detail for like this character has this move.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, we need
go
over.
over.
Yeah, I know, I'm not. I just wanted to go over the like important things, but yeah. So they are changing up Marvel vs. Capcom quite a lot. I think this game is going to be really cool. It sounds like simple enough for your average person, but I think it has a really interesting ramp up where I feel like this would be a good starting fighting game. Unlike a lot of other Capcom games that have been coming out recently. And even Ultimate Marvel wasn't that bad, but I feel like this is definitely better than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's about it for our Marvel vs. Capcom minute.
More than a minute, but I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that game, to be completely honest. I've never been super into that series, but I feel like this is going to be the one that I finally pick up and play. So
Sure.
Yeah, like inputs have been a real big problem for me, so that's a very good news to hear that.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on to questions. Michael, would you like to bring us in?
You can send questions to podcast@videogamechoochoo.com, or you can go over to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. That spells ask, because you'll be asking questions that sound like these. Anonymous asks, it's Adam again. Adam asks, what 3 artists, musicians, athletes, or celebrities would you want in your RPG party with you as the 4th? So since this is the 4th one, where instead of just everyone choosing a 4th or a full party, we're going to make a party right now, an RPG party. We're going to go around the horn, and whoever one artist, musician, athlete, or celebrity we choose, that is the person in our little RPG party that we're creating. So
so we're crowdsourcing an RPG party then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's start with Scott. You got one?
It's art, like artist as in someone who does art.
Anyone,
Any art.
just pick anybody.
Famous person.
Anyone.
Well-known person that when you say their name, we'll all go, oh.
Let's see, artist. Who'd be a good... Let's see, artist, musician, and what else? Celebrity. Artist, musician, celebrity.
We can move on while you think. It's artist, musician, athlete, or celebrity.
Artist,
okay. Just literally any kind of famous person.
Yes.
Well, you know...
John, you got one.
You know who would be...
John, we're moving on. You're going to have to think about it.
All right.
John, you got one?
I want...
Oh my god.
Keith David. All right.
Yes.
He could both fight for us and narrate.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah. What class would he be? Generic class.
Oh, man. I think Keith David, he seems like the type to be like one of those like really powerful like warlocks or something like that.
Yeah, okay. I can picture that.
Yeah, like I can imagine him in like really long flowing robes with like one of those big tomes and just being like ready to kick some ass with
like
some spells.
Gandalf, but without the beard and the gray hair.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, I'm Keith David. Ryan, who do you got?
I'm a little disappointed that we can't each name 3 people for our party because I had a really good one set up. But the two main ones I was thinking of that y'all can pick or choose. The first one is Nicolas Cage, who I feel like in opposition to Keith David's Warlock would be kind of like a sorcerer, like sort of born with this innate magical prowess that comes from the wellspring within himself.
So no different than real life.
yeah, exactly. So number 1 pick is Nick Cage, but if he like breaks his ankle or something, the second one is the is the chaotic neutral barbarian Scott Steiner. So
I don't want Scott Steiner anywhere near me.
maybe he's like the boss then, like he's like the final boss.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he also has a chainmail, so he is a good knight.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's the Smeagol in our story.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Scott, you got one?
I was going to say, you already went with a wrestler, but you know what? Fuck it. Xavier Woods. The boy already is a bard, literally, in real life. He can... He as soon as he gets zapped from his world to the RPG one that we have manifested, he is like... I'm in. Let's do it. I got it. He brings out his trombone. He's healing us. He knows everything. He is so perfect for this. And along those same lines, also Braun Strowman, because he's a monster among men.
Mm-hmm. We'll stick with Xavier Woods. So that's Nick Cage. It's Nick Cage as our sorcerer, Keith David as our warlock, Xavier Woods as our bard. I choose Ollie Moss. He would be a rogue because he's invisible when he's spray painting the enemies.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
I don't know why I chose Ollie Moss.
That's a good pick, Michael.
I have no direct affinity for Ollie Moss. I don't hate Ollie Moss. I just that's who I came up with. Moving on, Anonymous asks a really specific question. What's your favorite font from a game? For example, I love the fonts used in the UI for Skyrim despite not being too crazy about the game itself.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite font. The only thing I could come up with was Valhalla, because since it's a visual novel, like you gotta have something that's easy to read. But it's also has like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It has the aesthetic to the font. The font that they chose fits like the cyberpunk future system that it's in. And there's some visual novels I've played where it's like I am reading, and there's some visual novels that and some of it's the writing and the art, but there's some visual novels I read and I am seeing everything. With Valhalla, maybe it wasn't all the text, but I was seeing everything. So
sure,
Valhalla's my choice, and there I've undercut everybody else. They can't choose it. Anyone else got one?
So good.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Mine's less for the text in the game and more for like the text on the box. I'm gonna go with a stone cold classic on this one and say the Doom logo.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I've got that free poster from GameStop that I got when I bought the game hanging up on my door over here. So every morning when I leave, I see the Cyber Demon with like that great white like Doom font with like those jagged edges, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm ready to take on the day.
Yeah, I took the box art out and reversed it because it has reverse box art. So it has that you can look it up. If you just type in Doom box art, it's just a big fucking diorama of hell. It's really good. I wish more games did alternative box art like that.
Yeah, that's like the first thing I did with that game. I know Nier, the Automata, had one, but that was like the Japanese box art on one side, then the kind of shitty North American box art on the other one.
Okay.
So,
who's next? Who wants to go next? All right, Scott.
The one that sticks with me like forever is the Sonic 2 like font on the like the incoming level, like Emerald Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone.
Oh, yeah.
That font is like iconic, number one. It is amazing.
Sure.
I do a lot of web design and I deal with a lot of fonts, and I don't like it's hard for me to like come up with anything nearly as good as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff, that title stuff was really good.
Yeah. Excellent stuff.
John?
I'm gonna say the Overwatch logo, but not. I mean, it's a good font. Don't get me wrong, but the big reason why I like it so much is because there is an auto body shop near me that uses the same font. And every time I drive by it, I laugh my ass off.
Yeah, I seem to remember
in there looking at hentai and just hammering away in a car.
God, I seem to remember that my roommate has some kind of Batman trade paperback. It's like Batman Odyssey, I think is what it's called, but the spine and the front cover have that exact same yellow, like, Overwatch font, and it kills me every time I look at it.
All right, moving on. Shoeless writes in and asks a really simple question that there's only one right answer to. Puyo Puyo or Tetris?
Damn.
It's Tetris. Next question.
I've never played Puyo Puyo, so by default I'm obligated to say Tetris.
John?
Puyo Puyo.
Wow, okay, alright.
You fiend. It's Tetris. It's a classic game. It's been around forever. The music's iconic. It's better than Puyo Puyo. Puyo Puyo's fine. Puyo Puyo's the sidekick. Puyo Puyo's Robin. Tetris is Batman.
Michael, you know what else has been around forever?
A lot of things.
Gonorrhea.
Yeah, what?
Well,
Yeah,
maybe for you. I haven't had gonorrhea. I've had a lot of Tetris. It's never made me burn when I pee. Mm-hmm. So.
Look, all I'm gonna say is that with the advent of Puyo Puyo Tetris, we don't have to choose. We can have both. We can have whichever one we want. It's a purer world this way. All right.
So, John and I guess Michael as well. Have you guys played the fusion mode that much? Which is where like
I've only played Puyo Puyo Tetris one time, and it was against John, and I Tetrised his ass off.
Good. John?
His ass is still sitting in a chair at CEO Otaku.
Yeah, someone please help me. No, I have not gotten to that yet because there's just so much to that game. Like I've just been chipping away a little bit at a time, and I haven't touched that yet.
I was curious, so I just played it at one point, and it's kind of amazing. It's its own little puzzle. It has so many little intricacies. I could go on about Fusion Puyo Puyo Tetris, but let's not. Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah. Anonymous asks, anything to say about the Bulletstorm re-release that includes a mode where you play as Duke Nukem?
It's bad.
That looks like trash.
Yeah, as this site's foremost Duke Nukem apologist, even I cannot defend the Bulletstorm Duke. His model looks terrible. He's not integrated into the game particularly well, and John St. John is just like phoning it in. Like, I'm pretty sure like his voice lines, like they just call him by the name of another character, and he's like, "I'm not that guy. I'm Duke." Like, it's atrocious.
That would be funny if they did that joke one time and moved on. But because they just re-recorded they recorded his lines and re-recorded nothing and didn't change the story to fit him in at all, or even lip sync his character, so he's giving the like lines as the original character, not as Duke. Since they did that, it's just the same jokes. Like, I'm not that guy. I don't know what you're talking about. Like over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's unforgivable.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of a Duke apologist, and that is just like, yeah, that's what Duke Nukem deserves.
Damn. Cold.
Moving on, Anonymous asks, if you could buy any piece of property in video games, where would you live?
Ooh.
I'm just gonna say real quick, hard mode, no Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
Shit. You knew it. You knew it was coming, didn't you bastard?
That was going to be my answer, too, so I had to jump in front of it. Like, I was just like, you know what?
Why would you want to? You would owe fucking Tom Nook your soul for the rest of your life. You know how many bugs you'd have to collect?
It'd be a peaceful existence, and I would be loved by all.
No, you would be collecting bugs forever, going to the museum, the fucking owl's asleep, you're like, God damn it.
He doesn't bug you about paying anything. Like, you just do it only so you can get a bigger house. That's the only reason why you have to do that. If you don't want to, you could just live there for free forever.
Yeah, sure, until he comes to your house and breaks your fucking legs.
Great.
Tom Nook is a motherfucker.
I think Yharnam in Bloodborne is kind of an amazing city, and I know it's never going to happen, but that is absolutely something I would have loved to see, maybe before all of the horror.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's just like such a big, cool, ornate city, and it goes so far, and you could just walk through it and just be amazed by all the different things you're seeing. It's such a cool place.
Yeah. John, do you have another answer aside from Animal Crossing? Because I'm still kind of thinking about this.
I'd say like the Citadel in Mass Effect.
Oh yeah,
cool.
That'd be real good.
That's a good one. Just an apartment or the whole fucking thing?
I mean, no, just like live on the Citadel,
Sure.
like just have like a place to live there. You have all kinds of entertainment. There's plenty of interesting people coming and going. Like that would just be a really interesting place to live.
There's one problem though: the elevator rides take forever.
Yeah.
Good one.
Ryan, you still thinking?
No, I have an answer.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird roundabout one. I would love to live in the whole Baker estate from Resident Evil 7, provided it was not infested by killer hillbillies. Because I always have a soft spot for that kind of quasi like southern plantation kind of looking architecture and that sort of thing. If it was like renovated and like the property value went up a little bit, and they weren't like forcing me through like saw traps, and it was like me who's basically like the only person living there, then like I love it. So not the Baker estate in the game, but the Baker estate as like a concept, I feel like
After
as like
an
ideal
episode of Flip or Flop or something.
Yeah, basically, pretty much.
I choose Peach's Castle because it's a fucking castle.
Nice.
Yeah.
The only problem is it probably has terrible security because Bowser like breaks in easily and kidnaps her. So as long as like maybe I wouldn't sleep in the same bedroom she did, so he's not like accidentally coming in out of habit like kidnapping me, and like, oh wait, though you were the Peach. And like, no, she lives somewhere else with her boyfriend. I own this castle now.
Are you telling me Peach? Are you telling me Bowser is not Peach's boyfriend? Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the Airbnb-ing her castle.
Yeah.
I'm just here for a week, man. Like, it's seeing this. Do you have any
Buzz
like
off,
good, any good Thai places where you can get some pad Thai and like in a dump truck and just back it up?
Oh my god, that's fucking comedy, folks.
Yeah, it's called the callback.
Bring it back.
We got one last question coming in, and you can send questions podcast at videogamechoochoo.com, or if you don't like emailing, you can go over to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll sound like CenturyPunk here does. And finishing off by asking, has there ever been a character that you thought you would love based on the design or something, but ended up hating? Thank you, CenturyPunk.
That's a good question.
Very good question.
I actually have an answer like right off the top of my head.
Sure.
Terror from Danganronpa 2.
Oh yeah.
I really like his design, but I hate him as a character. But see, the thing is that you're supposed to hate him as a character, so like I don't know where the delineation should be drawn for that. Because, like, a quick discourse, like, you know, in the first Danganronpa games, like, the first game, singular, people say, like, weird, kind of, like, gross shit, and everyone just kind of, like, lets it go, but in that game, whenever Terror, like, makes some kind of comment, everyone's like, shut the fuck up, dude, and I really like that about that game, so I was like, oh, a chef, man, I will be so happy to meet him, and I'm like, man, this guy's a fucking, like, he's a dick, but he's, like... He's supposed to be a dick, so I guess it works. I don't know.
Anybody else?
He yells about early aughts pop stars when he's upset.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably my pick. From the new, I mentioned this during Game of the Year last year, but I ended up really not liking Hao from Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like, not necessarily because he's like a bad character, but it was more just like, you know, there's this world of like really interestingly designed characters that have like, you know, that are very different from the standard Pokemon games, and then Hao is such a standard Pokemon character that I just ended up really not liking him compared to everyone else who like had a really interesting character and wasn't just like showing up and going, oh, we can battle here, yay! Like everyone else in the game feels like a human being, and he just feels like a Pokemon character, you know?
Sure, yeah.
There are a couple Final Fantasy X characters that fit that mold for me. Like, you know, Waka has a really interesting design, but then is a racist. So maybe Waka's not the best. I don't know. He's still got the best voice you could ever have for a character like that. God, I can't remember his name. It's John DiMaggio? No.
Yeah,
John
the guy who does.
DiMaggio,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him. The guy who does Bender.
Yes, absolutely. Also, like, one of the main antagonists of that game, Seymour, looks so stupid and over the top, and then is just kind of nothing. It's really disappointing. Like, you expect him to be this real shit heel, and he kind of is. Like, he tries to marry Yuna, and then after that, he just kind of doesn't do anything. It's really lame.
I legitimately just can't think of one.
Sure.
I typically don't come away really angry at a video game or its characters. Yeah. And that's probably because if I don't like something, even a good deal in a game, I just will probably drop it and move on to something else. So I can't think of a character I ever thought like who I thought I would like and then came away hating. There's certainly characters I don't like. I just avoid them altogether unless, say, you work for a video game website where a lot of people like Duke Nukem and they're terrible people.
Yeah.
And then you have to ban them from the podcast.
Damn.
Other than that...
Is this because I played a MOBA?
No, I like MOBAs. I don't know why this would be fun.
All right.
But yeah, I can't really think of one. I'll probably think of one like 3 hours from now and be like, oh, that's a perfect one. But nothing comes to mind.
I just found this really good picture of Seymour as a kid, and I have to show it to you guys.
All right, let's take a peek. Bad pick.
Wow,
Look at that fucking hair.
That's some hair.
This is
Yeah,
great.
jeez. Yeah.
Bad pick. But this was a great podcast. I would like to thank you three for being on the show, and I would again like to thank all of you for downloading and listening. Once again, I would like to remind you that it helps us out a lot to retweet, reblog, and share all of our articles and our podcast. I would also like to ask you to go onto iTunes and review us. Give us some stars. Feel free to share and subscribe. And also, I'd like to invite you to come to the Discord. That is at thegamezone.zone. That is TheGamezone.zone. We would love to have you, as long as you're not a rabble-rouser. Please be... Well, you can be a little bit of a rabble-rouser.
Yeah.
Just don't be racist, that's all I'm asking. But no, again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. Good night.